Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be focusing on Barcelona's contract renewals and improvements. And the main reason why I do want to talk about the contract renewals that Laporta and Alemany are currently working on, or the contract financial improvements that they have been working on, it is because there are a lot of players that need to have their contracts reassessed, whether they should be renewed, whether they should be sold, or whether they should be staying at the club. But before we do go further into today's daily news, I do want to talk about our sponsors for today, and that is the OneFootball app. The OneFootball app has always been recognized to be the best football app you could find on the App Store. When it does come to the hottest or the latest news that is going on in the football world, you could find all of that within the OneFootball app. And as for us Barcelona fans, all you do have to do is make an account, and then once you do make that account, you will be able to find a choice on what teams you do want to follow. So all you would need to do is turn on the push notifications for Barcelona. Then moving forward from there, you will be notified on the total amount of goals Barcelona has scored during a match day. You will also be able to see when Barcelona do start and end their matches. And then the most important one is that you will also be notified when Barcelona are currently operating a transfer or will be doing a transfer in the coming summer of 2021. All of this is going to be in the OneFootball app. So if you guys are interested, there is a link in my description. You will be able to click it. It will take you straight to the app, and then from there on, you'll be able to create your own account and then follow the teams that you do want to follow. And I will also like to thank the OneFootball app for sponsoring this video and for supporting an independent creator. But now let's get back into the video. But one thing is for sure, President Laporta and Matteo Alemany, they have been at work at this club. And as we can see here through the pictures, we can see that Laporta did visit the training ground with the players, congratulating them for what they have done in this season. He is also giving them the support that they do need for the upcoming final that will be on this coming Saturday between Barcelona and Athletic Club. It's a very similar speech to the one that he did before the match between Barcelona and PSG. Laporta has always been a president that he does want to be there for the players before a big match does arise. And then we can also see here the first official photo of the 2020-2021 squad team. We can see Coutinho's there photoshopped. We can see that Dembele is there not looking at the camera. Messi's also taking a picture. Ansu Fati is there working on his recovery. It's a great picture. I do believe that it was a great time for the players to get back together, for the president to also be there and give them the full support. And I do not think that what has been going on over the past few hours, these contract renewal negotiations, is not a coincidence when it comes to the timing of beginning these negotiations. I do think that the reason why Laporta does want to talk to these players and talk to them about these contract renewals, it is because he wants to give these players a sense of reinforcements and tell these players that they do want to maintain them because they are very important to the squad. And when you do that, when you do give them that type of support before the final does arise, that is very, very important. And one of the players that we are going to be first talking about, it is going to be about Sergio Roberto and Mingueza. And it says here, according to Gabriel Sanz, the club has informed Sergio Roberto and Oscar Mingueza about their intentions of renewing their contracts. There has only been initial conversations that have taken place, but there will be further negotiations when it comes to the renewal of Mingueza and Sergio Roberto within the coming weeks. But let's first start with Sergio Roberto, because Matteo Alemany has stated within these reports that when it comes to Sergio Roberto, he is a very important case, which does actually mean that he is a very important player. Now, in this current season, which is the 2020-2021 season, Sergio Roberto has not done much for FC Barcelona, not because he has not been performing well, but it is because he has been out injured for a couple of months. But the previous seasons that Sergio Roberto has played in, and consistently, he has been playing well, and he has also been showing his quality. Now, there is going to be backlash when it comes to Sergio Roberto, because I believe that what the majority of the audience wants to see is to see Sergio Roberto leave in this coming summer. So there is a side that does want Sergio Roberto to continue with FC Barcelona, and there is a side that does not want Sergio Roberto to continue with this club. But we have to remember that at the end of the day, the sporting structure that Bartomeu and the other sporting directors were running with this Barcelona squad over the past 5 years, it has been a poor sporting structure. And when you do have a poor sporting structure, it is going to be hindering the performances of many of these players. One of those players has been Sergio Roberto. But it really does seem like Matteo Alemany, Ramon Planes, and the other directors that is working within the sporting department, they have come to a conclusion that if we can do this right, if we execute this plan well with this player, Sergio Roberto can be a tremendous important player for FC Barcelona. And you and me know that Sergio Roberto is a very versatile player, a player that can play as a midfielder, a player that can play as a central defensive midfielder, a player that can play as a right back. And I do believe that this is also telling us that they have came into a conclusion that they want to maintain Sergio Roberto and plan on selling other players that are going to be wanting to compete for that right back position, which is going to be Emerson. Emerson has been a player that has been highly talked about over the past couple of months. There has been reports stating that Emerson wants to come to FC Barcelona because he does believe that he is ready. But at the moment, when it comes to the market, when you place Emerson within the market and seeing the amount of clubs that do want to buy Emerson, the average bid when it comes to this Brazilian right back is around 25 million euros, which is a lot of money for a player like Emerson. And everything does indicate that Barcelona want to continue with Sergio Roberto and sell a player like Emerson who will be around 25 million euros. And then as for Oscar Mingueza, I think that we have talked about Mingueza enough. We know that Mingueza is a great player, a solid player. Defensively, he has shown to be very solid, and also he has shown to be a center back that can score goals in very important moments. And just knowing that Mingueza can be a center back and a right back, he is a package. He may not be a total package, a complete package, but he is a package. And it says here that the option to extend Mingueza's contract for 2 more years will also be activated, which basically means that they do want to continue with Mingueza until 2023. Now, I do want to quickly talk about where Mingueza's level is actually at, because I do believe that there needs to be a discussion, right, to understand just where Mingueza is as a player at the moment. Do I believe that Mingueza, as a center back or as a right back, is he a world-class player? Is he one of the best center backs or right backs in the world? I do not think so. I do not think that Mingueza is the best center back or the best right back in the world. I do think that Mingueza is a player that could become a player in that level. So as of now, he is not there yet, but let's put that discussion away for a second, because I think that one of the most important things that we actually need to discuss is that and realize is that Barcelona have not produced an emerging center back in a very, very long time. The last time we actually produced a very decent and solid center back was with Marc Bartra. This is also a player that did go to Real Betis and Borussia Dortmund, but we have not seen Barcelona produce a center back where we know that this is going to be the guy. This is going to be the center back that's going to be with us for many years to come, and also to produce this type of level at this young of an age. We haven't gotten one in a very long time, and Mingueza is now here emerging as a great center back and emerging as a great right back. And as for the next steps, when it comes to Mingueza continuing with FC Barcelona, I do believe that the department are going to be asking, okay, how can we improve Mingueza's game? Is he going to be a right back officially, or is he going to be a full-time center back? Those are going to be the things that Barcelona, the department, are going to have to be working on. And they're also going to be asking, how can we get the most out of this center back? Because now that we have officially introduced and emerged a brand new center back coming from the academy, we must get this right. So the future is going to be extremely bright for Oscar Mingueza, and I do believe that Mingueza will impress within these next 2 years. Now moving on to the next topic of today, and we are going to be talking about Nico Gonzalez. Now, Nico Gonzalez has been a player that where I believe we haven't talked about in this channel yet. And just to give you guys a general review on just who this player is, and we are going to be talking about Nico Gonzalez in the second channel, which is Barca Media 2, and just go into greater depth on who this player actually is. But just to give a broad overview of this player, he is a player that did join Barcelona B back on June 2020. And in this current season, he has provided a total of 2 assists. He is a player that has been described as a holding midfielder, a player that does occupy the exact same space like Sergio Busquets. And many people from the environment of Nico Gonzalez have stated that this is a player that has impressed with Barcelona B, which was his first year and his first season with FC Barcelona. The way that he controls the match, the way that he likes to shield the ball from the opposition, the way that he likes to control the tempo of the game, all of these qualities that he does possess, he does it very, very well. And it says here, according to Ferran Martinez, that the first meeting between the agents of Nico Gonzalez and Barcelona has taken place. Talks are still in initial stages, but there are good positive vibes during the first contacts. More negotiations will be following up in hopes of finding a final agreement with Nico Gonzalez and FC Barcelona. So with the implementation of Nico Gonzalez going into the preseason at the very least with FC Barcelona, I do believe that Nico Gonzalez, seeing the way that he has played with Barcelona B, I do think that he will impress. If you can impress with Barcelona B, you will have no problem emerging yourself as a great player within the first team. But that ultimately does mean one thing. If Nico Gonzalez gets implemented into the first squad for the next season, assuming that Ronald Koeman is still the coach of FC Barcelona, we are going to be seeing a shift in the midfield, meaning that we are probably going to be seeing Nico Gonzalez being slowly implemented into the first team, and seeing that Nico Gonzalez can play as a central defender defensive midfielder, one of the players that's going to have to confirm their roles on where they do want to officially play will be Moriba and Frankie de Jong. Does Moriba want to play as a central defensive midfielder or as an interior midfielder? As for Frankie de Jong, does he want to play as a defensive midfielder or as an interior midfielder? Those are going to be two players who do have to confirm their roles, because in the next season, I do think that Koeman is going to want to find more stability within his squad and just have more reassurance to know just where these players do want to play. Because in this current season that we have been seeing Moriba play as a central defensive midfielder, sometimes as an interior midfielder. We have seen Frankie de Jong play as a center back, as an interior midfielder, as a central defensive midfielder. We have even seen Antoine Griezmann play as a left winger, as a striker, and just many of these players have been shifting in multiple positions. But in the next season, I do assume that Koeman is going to want to find more stability. And the moment you do find more stability, the faster you are going to be finding the answers on where to place these youngsters within the starting 11 and within your formation. Because one of the players that is certainly not going to be moved away from the starting 11 within the midfield, to be more specific, it is going to be Pedry. Pedry has shown, right? We're going to go into the next topic, but Pedry has shown that he has been an untouchable under Ronald Koeman. And again, assuming if Ronald Koeman continues to be the coach for FC Barcelona in the next season, Pedry will be untouchable. Pedry will not move anywhere from that midfield. And the news that has been emerging regarding Pedry has been something very surprising, something that many of us were not even thinking until at least for the next 3 to 4 years. But it says here, according to Rack 1, Barcelona want to improve Pedri's contract. The club believes that the current contract doesn't suit the player's sudden rise and prominence. They want to renew his contract with better economic terms, which is why I do say the fact that we are hearing Barcelona and Laporta come into a conclusion that we need to financially better this contract for Pedry is something that we did not expect to hear until at least 2024 or maybe even 2025. But this is great to hear. It's great to hear that Barcelona want to lock in Pedry and give him a better contract. But this does remind me of one thing, and that is that this is exactly what Bartomeu has been doing with these Barcelona players over the past 5 years. But there's one big difference between this report and what Bartomeu has been doing with many of the players like Suarez, Vidal, Rakitic for the previous 5 to 6 seasons. Pedry is not an aged player. He is not a veteran, and this is not a player that is going to be renewed at the age of 31 or 32 years old. Bartomeu, on the other hand, was renewing players at the age of 31, 32 years old. He was signing players that were around 31, 32 years old. He was renewing the contracts, for example, Luis Suarez, and improving the contracts financially at a very old age in the football world. Looking at how Laporta wants to renew Pedry, this is not a problem, because the one thing that Pedry actually is the complete opposite of the players that were being renewed under Bartomeu. Laporta does want to increase the financial terms of these contracts because Pedry is a young player, because Pedry can give many years to Barcelona, and he wants to increase this contract financially because he does deserve it, because Pedry has exceeded the expectations on how he should be performing. And that is how you build a team, right? That is how you secure a team for the long term, to keep these players and keep them happy. There's nothing wrong with increasing the wages of these players as long as we know that this player is going to be a player for the future and for the present, and also a player that we know has been performing past his expected level. So one thing is very clear: Barcelona, Laporta, Ramon Planes, and Matteo Alemany, they do want to maintain this young great player for what he has done in this current season. And one of the best things of all, and it has been confirmed by many reliable sources and even Rack 1 and Sport, that Pedry does desire to continue with FC Barcelona, and he wants to continue to represent the red and blue shirt and this Barcelona badge. So this is great to hear. It's great to hear that Pedry is going to have his contract not only renewed, but his economic terms will also be renewed. And it is also great to hear this because there has been many reports stating that teams such as Bayern Munich, Liverpool are very interested in Pedry, and they do want to acquire and sign Pedry in the near future. But Barcelona have spoken back, and they have spoken back with a bang. But that's going to be it for today's Barcelona Daily News. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.